and many signs appear during these conflicts, and many things are foretold before the things come to a conclusion, which come to the conclusion exactly as they were foretold. So there are other signs supporting the whole thing. It's not just the sheer fact that you are winning. It's the whole picture which as such in its totality gives the evidence that this is not a normal ordinary phenomena, that the support of God is with us. So if in this perspective you present the case of Ahmadiyya persecution, then of course it will be reasonable and acceptable. Yes?
So during the talks with the non-Ahmadi Muslims,
yes,
we can present Quranic Kareem's, quotings of Quranic Kareem about the advent of prophets and the results of persecution and so on. But the Christians who are not purely religious, some Christians who are not purely religious, but when we talk with them, they come closer to religion and talk about religion.
Yes.
To them, the proof of this difference can be presented to them.
What difference?
Between the persecution of Baha'is and Ahmadis. And
it is irrelevant. Don't speak on the subject at all. It's meaningless to them.
Yeah.
Why should you go on speaking on a subject which is just meaningless? Why to interfere into a bomb where you will ultimately be bogged down and both of you would get in deep mud? It's meaningless. First of all, see who the person is whom you are addressing, find out his views, and then start convincing him on that platform on which he is himself standing. If you are standing on a different platform and he is standing on a different platform and they are moving in different directions, then it's useless to shout at each other. Create a common platform of identity between yourselves first, and then you start conveying the message to him as he can understand. Please. And that should be the last question, because after this we have to say the prayer and also we have his meeting. Aftabul Khan sir has come, hasn't he?
Yes sir, I tried.
He said he is there sitting beside. Only hidden behind this hockey player. Yes, please.
Hazur, these are the two observations. First one is on this question of Baha'is. There was a long article published in the Times, and when that article published, I read it, I contacted the Baha'is who are over here at the center. The difference which I found is that the members of the true sect who are persecuted, they have the confidence that God is going to help them, whereas this confidence does not exist in those sects who either are not true to our knowledge or within their own knowledge they are not true. And this is what was expressed by them as well, that alright, we have been persecuted, we have been driven away, we don't think that we shall gain the same strength and the power in future. But while we say it, we say that yes, we shall get it, because we have got the glory from the God Almighty. And they
lack that
that's
confidence.
Right. That's right.
That is what you say.
That's right. That's what I'm saying. And this is,
do you have any proof?
Pardon?
I mean, I'm interested in this.
Yes.
I want to find out if there is a proof that they commit themselves to this attitude.
They did not commit it in writing, but when I spoke in length for about half an hour, 3/4 an hour to the secretary, whosoever is there, they expressed that yes, we have been driven out and we have weakened, but we don't think we can get that strength back again, but we shall spread in different parts of the world.
Yes,
but we didn't have that.
Yes.
It was general expression.
That is also something which I thought of, but I didn't say because I wanted to be I couldn't be brief, but I wanted to be brief.
That's right.
The fact is that as a result of certain persecutions, certain communities are expelled from one place and they get rooted in some other society or in some other country which is more amenable to them. And so sometimes they are driven from there and get rooted at some other place. No, people are totally destroyed. This is wrong. They somehow persist and continue to live. Here and there, as a persecuted society, even the Red Indians have survived. So have the Aborigines of Australia survived. So the sheer survival is no proof of any foreign or any godly help or support. The fact is that, as I have explained earlier, there should be a positive element of Allah's interference into the matters to the effect that normal phenomena is reversed. In the case of Baha'is, we don't observe any such occasion where we can say that. For instance, they were driven from parts of Iran and they went underground in some other parts where they were not driven away. They remained underground for a while, then surfaced, then underground, but they couldn't conquer the society, and they are not in the process of conquering the society. Only they are establishing their hold economically and strengthening their hold of the society by becoming powerful within their own circles, gaining more power through more discipline and through more organization and through more, they call it intrigue or planning, I should say. That is different. That is exactly the similitude they have between them and the Jews. The Jews are also a society which has been persecuted. But they have been driven out. When they got the chance, they came back, but still in the form of a minority, not winning the imagination of the whole society and absorbing them into them and growing in number. That is the religious phenomenon which should be presented in case of any community. In cases of opposition and clashes, it absorbs its opponents. It does not overpower them physically. It does not plan to become powerful and remain imposed upon them, being a minority. The concept of its success is becoming majority at the cost of your enemy, not by destroying him, but reforming him and absorbing him into your system. So in cases of other movements, this is not observed entirely like it is observed in religion.
That's right.
There are certain confusions, things which have to be analyzed in more detail. So it is a weapon which should not be employed by people who cannot wield it properly. There are so many other proofs of Ahmadiyyat's truth. Why must you enter this maze and quagmire which you can't handle? Maybe you can't get out yourself afterwards.
The second observation is about the question of Spain, which we just explained quite in details. Huzur, in Italy, when I visited extensively, I found that there is a lot of knowledge about Islam existing. People happen to know more about Islam than people maybe in England or somewhere else.
In the south of Italy, perhaps.
More in the south, yes.
Not in the north.
Not in the north.
Yes.
Is that the influence of the Spain?
In the south of Italy, in Sicily, etc., there are quite a few Muslims, and they have had repeated contact with the Arab world, with Libya, with Morocco, with other countries. And the more you travel to the south of Italy, more they are in contact with Islamic world, and the greater rises the number of Muslims in the society too. But unfortunately, their contact with the Muslims, those who are representing Islam in Italy, is not beneficial to Islam at all, because they belong to a criminal society in many cases, and their presentation of Islam in their own conduct and lives is not at all attractive. So instead of going south to search for a place for the mission, I instructed Khalifatul Masih also had the same policy of instructing people to find some suitable place in the north, because the study reveals that Islam